Everyone, I'm Karen Adams. I'm here today with Lavern Lincoln, who is the author of My Family History, My Life in Charleston. The book has just been published this month, and we have the author in right here, right now, to talk about it with us right here on Look Local. So welcome, Lavern. You know, there's a great family history which caused you to write this book. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what was your motivating factor?
Okay, my name is Lavern Lincoln. I'm from Charleston, South Carolina. I'm a native Charlestonian from Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay.
I just recently moved here to Jacksonville in 2013 because my daughter attended Edgewater College, and I realized she wasn't going to return home, and I wanted to spend some time with her and my grandkids. So that was the initial reason for moving here in Jacksonville.
Okay, so you moved from Charleston to Jacksonville to be with your family, your daughter,
who is at Edgewater, and my grandkids.
Mm-hmm. Okay, then where along the line did somebody say, "Hey, Lavern, write a book"?
Okay, I moved here in 2013, but prior to moving here in 2013, I lived in Charleston, South Carolina, and I had a male friend recommend to me that maybe I should write a book.
Okay.
And he told me that. I really laughed at him because, you know, I've never written a book in my life. But about maybe 13 weeks ago, I was sitting around my apartment here in Jacksonville. And because I had a sister, my older sister, who wrote 2 books, and a brother who just recently wrote a couple of books before I left Charleston, I just thought to myself, I said, well, maybe it runs in the family. So I just sat down in my apartment and I just started writing. And what made it easier, because it's my family history. You know, I'm writing about what, you know, how my life was as I grew up in Charleston, South Carolina. And also, I find whenever you write a book, I feel it's easier to use an outline. And I kind of used an outline, and it made it much easier.
Okay. Now, the thing that I want to talk about, too, is one thing about Lavern is she comes from a very large Catholic family. She's one of 16, count them, 16 children, which you told me that earlier, and I was like, it blew me away. 16!
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so as of today, some of them unfortunately have passed on.
Yes.
But we still have
5.
Five left, and you're close with them, and you saw them writing books, and you thought, you know, maybe, like you say, it runs in the family. Tell us what we'll find when we get this book and read it. What will we learn about Lavern Lincoln and about your history? I know there's a lot about being raised poor in the South. I know some of the things that we get into are how you grew up as a little girl, and your parents would cut wood and sell that wood for people with furnaces to keep warm. So you kind of had sort of a socioeconomically different background. It was a struggling upbringing, but you made it.
Yes. My background was back in 1950s and 60s. I was raised during that time. And my family was a middle-class Catholic family.
Okay.
Myself and all my siblings were baptized as babies. As soon as we were born, my parents baptized us into the Catholic faith. And we attended a Catholic church about 2 city blocks away from our home. And my mom would literally put all of us kids in a line every Sunday and walk us to church.
In a line?
Yes, in a line. Yeah. You would literally line all 14 of us living siblings up.
I guess when you have that many kids, you know, you got to come up with I mean, like sometimes there's a rope. I'm surprised they all didn't hold like a rope as you were heading to church. You see like a long line of kids in daycare doing that sometimes. But yeah, so getting you all to church. So you had a Christian upbringing, and then tell us about like the middle part of your life. What happened, you know, during, you know, from the start of being a little girl, you know, to you becoming an adult.
Okay, like I said, my mom had 16 kids, and my siblings were a lot of fun. It was really a lot of fun growing up as a child, because I had siblings that would tease you and doze you so hard that they would just literally have everyone on the floor laughing at you. So it was a lot of fun growing up. As a child, I was a very introverted child. I kind of just stayed to myself. I was literally afraid to go to people's house because I wouldn't have anything to say. So my childhood was very, very introverted.
Okay.
But as I grew up and became an adult and moved to my mom's house, I began to be more talkative. And now you can't shut me up. Literally.
Okay.
Once I get started, I just go on and on and on.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
So once I moved to my mom's house, well, I had my son at a very, you know, in my teens. And so when I moved to my house, I got an apartment for myself and my son. And, you know, I got my own apartment. I got married. I was married for like 2 years. And after I separated from my husband, I was the only job I've had prior to getting married. The only job I had was like as a waitress. So I decided after working in the field of being the waitress for most of my teen years, I decided I wanted to go back to college.
Okay.
And so I attended Trident Technical College for 3 years and 2 different majors for
Trident Technical College
back in Charleston, South Carolina. Okay. I attended Trident Technical College and 2 different majors for medical secretary, general office secretary.
Office secretary. Okay.
General office secretary and hospital ward clerk. Working in the hospital ward and also general office secretary.
Okay.
And after I completed that, I started working in the hospital at county hospital for like 5 years, and after that I kind of pretty much worked in the clerical field for 16 years.
I got it. Okay, very good. So you've had kind of an interesting background with different.
My resume is 6 pages long, pretty much. I have a long resume.
Resume is 6 pages long, and now she can put this on there as well. Go ahead. It really
and as far as my book, I guess I never thought. Someone would tell me that I was going to write a book, I would say no way.
But you did it.
So that just goes to say you never say never. You don't know what life will take you through, and what your life what direction your life may go.
Sure, sure. And you just did this at your age, and I think that's great. It only took her 2 or 3 months to do it, and the book is now available. It's just now published as of this month, and if you look on your screen, this is where you can get it. You can get it at authorhouse.com. That's the publisher. Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. You definitely want to check it out. It's an interesting read and find out a little bit more about Lavern Lincoln and how she overcame the obstacles of being raised in the South during the time of segregation, and it's a very interesting read. I want to thank you so much, Lavern, for coming on. Thank you.